Hello and welcome everybody to the global patch notes for January 31st, 2025. I am a little bit sick, so please bear with my slightly more nasally voice today. This is a pretty big update. It starts with Oceans and Barters. So we got a big changes for the Ocean and Barter incoming. So the first off is a new filter system, and also the renewal wait time reduction function has been changed, so you can select multiple at once. Magoria will have the actual barter information on the world map as well. We now get the auto sort function for ship to warehouse at least, or move all cargo to storage, which is pretty nice. Similar thing for the direct sale of barter items, where we can now select a number and it'll auto sort into the sell function on the storage. With this, you might have noticed they're also increasing the value, which comes a little bit later as well. Barter exchange information, view only the items you're holding has been added, so you can now filter only items you're holding to then see what barters you can do. These are both be able to, you can also filter the ones you've completed, and both filters can be activated together. So two functions together, try to display only the items loaded on the ship list and hide base after exchange. So we have a few options here. Now we have the barter exchange trades. So these are going up from 7.5 to 10 mil, the ones that we're used to now. And the 15 mil items from Magoria are actually becoming 25 million. This should hopefully increase the value of bartering significantly, simply because we'll be able to make a lot more. This has also the added effect that they will be increasing the Crocoin value exchange. So Halmat, Kashuma, and Durko Island are going to go up a little bit in Crocoins, which is nice, up to 190 and 180. The Magoria Star Ocean is also going up a tiny bit, but considering the change of maximum 25 on the two transport ships and max 30 on the others, it probably still not worth it for the current parlay. There's also there's also an expansion of the material exchange. So before you could only get sea crocodile scales and scales of violent marine monsters. We will now be able to get the sea crocodile scales, violent marine sea monster scales, the bones, and the not truth, it's the ooze. So these are all being added, and it's also generally 3 to 5, which means bartering for your boat will become more viable. There's also changes on the ocean spots. We have the sea, I'm guessing that's sea crocs. So the amount of inner ends of the marine monsters and poor marine monsters has increased 3.5 times. I'm pretty sure these are the blue item drops that you could sell for money. So we have 15 to 25 used to be the previous acquisition. It's going up to from 50 to 60. And then the inner ends of vomiting marine monsters 3 to 5 is going to 8 to 10. That's pretty nice. I mean, generally, just more loot is always better. Goldmont is getting a big buff on the extra drops. So, one second. Sorry, sneeze. There we go, let's continue. We have the Gilded Coral, the Sophisticated Pearl Necklace, the Obsidian Necklace, and the Golden Turtle Shell. They're all being increased by 6 times on the probability to receive them, which is pretty nice. This was always a nice money factor at Pirate Fleet. This translation is a little bit off, but the way I understand it, with Nine Sharks and Black Rusts, the probability of Lekrashan is being increased by 1.5 times. If that is what this means, that is also pretty nice. And also the cannonball refills that we've been getting from the quests are going from 200,000 silver down to 50,000 silver. Might actually make it worthwhile to buy them just to restock cannonballs on the go. And now we have the massive Failing Quest overhaul. So first off, we had the Velia and Portaferia subjugation quests. These are being combined into one. So if you accept the one, you accept the. You don't need to go to Portaferia to accept the other. We're getting a sailing experience doubling. The contribution is also doubling in some cases, and also the resources are also being increased. So before we got one source of wind, now we're actually going to get 50 sources of wind. As far as I know, that is 100 cannonballs. That is not bad for a quick daily. And both quests are identical between the two locations. But you don't need to go pick up both of them. You can pick up the one set or the other set. It does not matter. Depends on which one your home port is. Otherwise, we also have other changes. So the Hungry Hekaru and Stalker, the 20 Infiltrating Cox Pirates, and also the... Oh, that's the Chowder quest. So before we had 200 in sailing experience on all of them. The sailing experience is being doubled in this case. We're also getting 50 crow coins. In the case of the Chowder, it's actually getting 10 times the sailing XP, which is also turned into a weekly. With 10 times the sailing XP, this will most likely be worthwhile to do at least once a week. So Chowder might actually become way more valuable. We're also getting 200 crow coins for that, and I'm not sure what the 10 special Belenos offices is, but we'll see that next week. You can also hand in already made chowder to complete the quest. In addition, the dried shells have been added to the cooking recipe of the chowder to proceed with the quest. So if you collect shellfish, you can get the shell with a high probability and you can get dried shells. So we get dried pearl clam or 5 dried shellfish, which means shellfish prices might actually be going up a tiny bit, but overall this is pretty good. Otherwise, it's teff bread, milk, pork, pepper, and, well, shellfish. Also, collecting shellfish and clamshells has been added to obtain shellfish. It is not affected by the increased amount of collection of pets, so no, excuse me, nose. So no hedgehog and high proficiency. Then we're getting a big rework on the bartering items. I'm pretty sure this is a mistranslation because I'm expecting us to give barter XP. So right now it's 200 XP in sailing experience for the transport, which is the Velia to Ilia, Ilia to, well, Velia to Tamara, Velia to Ilia, Ilia to Oquilla. So that's the 3 quests. They used to give a sailing experience and 200 CP. The 200 CP stays, the sailing XP is doubling, and it also mentions trade experience. I'm expecting this to actually be barter XP. I doubt it's going to be trade XP. If it is, nice way of maybe getting it passively, but I'm expecting this to be barter experience. And we're also getting 20 crow coins per quest, which is a nice little bonus. Otherwise, we have the other changes. So you used to get 1 relic of the Cox Sea and 30 crow coins. This is also getting pretty much sailing XP doubled again. 50 crow coins at trade experience mentioned again, so probably barter. Otherwise, we have other changes from sailing experience and 80 crow coins being changed to sailing experience 100 crow coins and also the barter XP again. Overall, everything is getting its sailing experience almost doubled or barter XP added on the quests. The barter exchange quest, which is the 20 and also the 4 extra quests for 5, 10, 15, 20. they're getting increased, mostly just in the sailing XP and, well, trade experience being mentioned again. Also, some of them again getting a little bit extra added. Well, extra crow coins added. Overall, it looks really nice for sailing, well, Sailies. This is a really big change. And there have been 3 new quests being added by Preco, the Warrior Exchange on Ilia Island. So there's a weekly for 100 barters, which will give you 200 crow coins, sailing experience, trade experience, and 500 CP. There's also a delivery to Samia in the inner port of Alcado, and a delivery to Hakoven Island, which is again sailing XP, bartering XP, 100 crow coins, and some bar exchange support boxes. On Oquilla, we also have a change. The daily quest that used to exist is being changed into a weekly. So you will have to deliver 50 coral pieces and 5 rainbow coral pieces. It will give you all the rewards for an entire 5 days worth. It still only gives gathering XP and the Oquilla memorial coins. Also, a bunch of NPCs are moving around the area, so a lot of them are being moved towards the Wharf Manager, making it also easier. And the following quests are being removed. So, the owner of the island, noble coral sculpture for young merchants. That is pretty much the dailies being removed. Concerning the Oquilla quests, we also have big changes. So again, we have sailing XP being increased. The crow coins are being generally put into a standard. Well, crow coins are now a basic reward, not a selectable one. And blue carrick equipment crafting materials have been added to the selectable, and all the sailing XP has been doubled. We're just going to slowly scroll through this. This is pretty much, the quest has not changed, only the rewards are being increased. Mostly just experience increases, which is pretty good. Then we have a larger change on the Lekrashan quest, so there's going to be a weekly for 10. So this quest will give you 500 crow coins and 3 selection of water, green, blue, or golden. And also the same thing is happening. Well, the daily is going from 20 to 5, 200 crow coins and 1 water. So this is another good source of crow coins. So again, we're getting a new weekly. The original daily is being changed from 20 down to 5. Overall, this really feels like a nice change. I might actually put this into my Sailies rotation just for those crow coins. It's a nice bonus. And we're getting to the biggest part of this sailing update. We have the Rusalka Stone, or Seacrystal. So the Rusalka Seacrystal, from what I've understood scrolling through this, does not have the RNG value. It still gains one of the values below, so we have 4.5% speed, 4.5 acceleration, 9% turn, 9% braking, weight of 1,350 LT or 250 durability, up to 900 extra damage, well, 900 extra damage to vessels, to sea monsters, and 450 from ship to ship combat. Unlike the current sea crystals, these are not randomly specified and are chosen one of at random of these 8. So there is still a little bit of RNG, but it is pretty much once you get the crystal, once you get your speed crystal, you will have a max speed crystal. There's no RNG beyond that. The way we'll acquire it is we get the red freshwater and the, well, void sea crystal and 10 Megoria's origins, or you take the Rusalka origin if you re-roll the Rusalka with a sea crystal to re-roll it. The red freshwater and can be purchased for 40 and 10 crow coins at the crow coin stores. So pretty much this is 50 crow coins and 10 Megoria origins and you get your sea crystal. You melt it down for a single origin. You can re-roll it as much as you like. This is going to be pretty good. You can definitely get all the ones you need. You can maybe even get all of them. This is also being added to the special barters. Then we have existing sea crystal changes. So they've streamlined the total number of sea crystals by half, which pretty much, this is a bit hard to get the translation of. So we have the Ilton, probably the blue, green, and yellow. So the low values can no longer be acquired. So the values are also being increased on these, from what I understand. The simple alchemy is also being changed for the Magoria sea crystals from one to have one or two acquired instead of the 1-to-1 as it is now. And now comes with the biggest Ebenruth Knoll change for this. So we have the Oceanteared Ebenruth Knoll. If you are a part of the very lucky few that have the Ebenruth Knoll and you get your Rusalka Seacrystal, you will be able to combine it with the Rusalka Seacrystal and get the Oceanteared Ebenruth Knoll. Also, the Ebenruth Knoll will no longer consume durability. On the Rusalka, the Rusalka will still take durability, but the moment you upgrade, you will no longer use durability. You pretty much manufacture it by having the Rusalka crystal with an Ebenruth Knoll. If you use the Ebenruth Knoll with Tears of the Sea, you can reacquire the crystal and the Ebenruth Knoll. I'm guessing this is if you want to swap this extra stat on the stone, but we'll have to see for the details once this hits global. Like mentioned, Ebenruth Knoll is also getting its durability removed. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Biggest change concerning those still needing the Ebenruth Knoll, myself included, the Torn Treasure maps are becoming stacked. They are being combined in the Yaz's pouch. This is massive because most likely the moment they now become stackable, they are probably no longer character bound. I have not been able to find a detail about this inside the global labs, but it does not seem to be character bound according to the picture. This makes it really nice that you can always have one character on each spot, especially if you sometimes get a full map. We'll have to see if this allows us to also do the same for the full maps. I am, to be honest, hoping it. Otherwise, there's also some general changes for the acquisition. We'll have to see what this entails. Overall, it seems to just generally give more rewards on the boxes, but we'll see on global when it's more well translated. Ilia Wharf is also getting a change. When you pull your ship out, it will no longer be perpendicular. It will be in line for the exit. Similar change being done on Coit Island. It used to be perpendicular, and now it will actually be facing outwards, so you can immediately get going again. There's also a little mention of the reef removal works. So there's a schedule to remove the reef near Ilia Island, and also the one on the Barter Island near Delling. I think it's Delling Island. Actually, let's just quickly look at it. Delling Heart Island, and I just noticed I was stuck. So Delling Heart Island is also getting a little bit deepened. That should be quite good news for us trying to get in there for the Barters. Con changes are coming. This is a bit more for people even outside the ocean. So when striking the con, using the cannons assembled or monster cannon assembly set, it was improved to be definitely applied. So we will always get the damage. Overall, it just means the critical hit is guaranteed when you successfully land. This should increase the general damage, which should shorten the con times. A general fix for is being done for Honglin. Apparently, the Fox Bandits attacked only a single object. Naxion, I think that is Narcion. And they fixed an issue with some attacks of the Black Shrine. World heads of the morning were hit by a single object. And then we have some fishing changes, well, fish tank changes. As the in fishing content continues, there's also an increased focus on Shim Young's miraculous fish tank. So they are changing it that the Shim Young fish tank 5-colored shells items were no longer needed. The term of the quest for fishing fish during the quest are the same as before. So you no longer need to collect the item to actually then get the tank. There's also a knowledge reward being added to the Voltarion, it seems, and in order to clearly know the completion of the course information, the monster's name has been proved to the actual monster name, so apparently there's just a small name change. They are also preparing to wrap up the Snowfall Crasher event with the first update in February. They want to take a moment to reflect on this journey. It has been a pleasure to introduce the snowboarding experience to so many of you, and we're thrilled that you enjoy the various content, including the snowboards. They sincerely thank us for having participated and had fun. And Lando will be preparing new courses where pro shredders can showcase their skill, and they hope will continue to visit Snowfall Crasher and enjoy all it has to offer. There are some tiny horse changes also coming. The Imperial Boma is getting its percentages increased by training mastery. So training mastery 0, 1000, and 2000 are the three shifting points. So on a tier 8, we go up from 3.2 to 5, from 5 to 5.4, and from 5 to 5.72. So we're getting a slight increase on the upper end for the tier 8 breeding. If you're just breeding tier 6 or tier 7 males, it's going up from 2.08 to 3.2. That's a fairly sizable increase on the lower end. And this is also based on 1000 training mastery. If you break the 2000, this will be a little bit higher, it seems. On the tier 7, it goes from 3.2 to 5.4. So that means a tier 7 horse with most likely 2000 will also be able to reach that 5.72. To be honest, it looks really good for those that are spamming the tier 6s rather than going for the high tier 8s. There's also being a stat added to check in the horse details window of how much the stats have risen from the previous level. So this is so you don't have to calculate it, it's being shown for you. We have some world map changes. The world map will now be able to be moved via WASD. And also there are being two functions being added, the world map location storage and also the world map angle storage. So we used to have the angle storage. It pretty much kept the angle that you had. Now you can set it that the angle is maintained. Also, the last location can be maintained, so if you really want to always look at the same spot, you can activate this in these settings. The stored history of round trip pass was also added in the settings. And the background of the Black Desert world displayed on the world map has been renewed to suit the current real area, so there's generally world map changes happening. For our Velia rooftop enjoyers, the social action can now be registered in the Quickslots. So you'll be able to Quickslot all the social interactions you want to do, and you can RP to your heart's content on Velia rooftops. Also, when hiring workers through the NPC, the default value for continuous work review setting has been changed. Then we have some general modification and changes with the going through quickly when checking the racehorse and stable. Okay, boarding tag when the worker contract was opened. There's a fix for the pad UI. List of all workers, the filter has been modified. In accordance with the name of Crocodile Legend, art and not knowledge, and the name Crocodile Legend Doom and Guide has been revised, so small naming changes. Magnus Beely of Memories and Calphion has been fixed as a complete condition was not displayed. Okay, and then we have some general changes. Okay, let's go back through. So quick slots for the we have the quick slots for the social actions for the RP enjoyers. World map changes. We'll have to get used to these. Imperial Boma probability going up. Snowboarding will remain after the event. Some small changes on the fish tank acquisition. Excuse me. Sea monster changes and con changes. There will be more reefs being removed, changes to wharf managers, then changes to the torn treasure maps being stackable, Ebenruth Knoll losing its durability and also getting an upgrade via the new incoming Rusalka Seacrystal, which also loses its RNG but pretty much gives you your max stats immediately. General Sailies changes with everything gaining way more double the sailing XP generally, a bit of crow coins, a bit of bartering XP, so we're going to be progressing through those life skills a little bit easier. Judging from this, right now I'm Master 8. I get around 1 to 2%, somewhere around there for all my Sailies. This should probably get me up to 4% a day, which is not bad. Also, maybe get ready on the seafood chowder, because we should be doing this weekly now that it will give 10 times as much sailing XP per week and 200 crow coins. And also sea monster spots being buffed a little bit with trash. And also bartering changes, also increasing the value. Otherwise, overall big sailing update. Let's get back into BDO, and hopefully I'll get well soon. Thank you for bearing with me with my nasally voice, and I will see you all probably tomorrow when I'm a bit more fit.